that something went wrong. Suggested for him not to get the money. I argued with him about that.
On January 17th, 2010, San Antonio, a quiet cemetery, mist curling over gravestones, becomes the scene of a chilling discovery. Police found 37-year-old Sam Johnson, lifeless among the markers, 6 bullets in his body.
The body of Samuel Johnson was found in an East Side cemetery almost 2 decades ago. He had been shot to death. His ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, is on trial, accused of hiring someone to kill him.
But what investigators found next was more horrifying. He hadn't died there. Someone had taken his life elsewhere and left him there, discarded like he was nothing. As police scrambled for answers, they uncovered a devastating truth. The one behind it all was his ex-girlfriend, and her sister had planned to kill him over life insurance money. It was brazen, it was calculated, and it left the community with questions that burned in every mind. Who would do this, and why Sam? Stay with me, because as the story unfolds, the full depth of betrayal, violence, and shocking truth will hit you, just as it hit his family and the courtroom that would later hear every detail. 26-year-old Sam Johnson was a bus driver from San Antonio, Texas, who had a complicated life. Sam spent his days driving buses across the city, making sure people got to school, work, and home safely. He was proud of his job because it gave him a steady income and allowed him to take care of himself and his family.
2 years after Samuel Johnson's body was found in this East Side cemetery, his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, was convicted of his murder. Prosecutors say she'd hired someone to kill Johnson in a scheme to collect insurance money.
But even though he worked hard, life was not always simple. Sam's world was filled with ups and downs, and sometimes the challenges seemed to pile up faster than he could handle. Sadly, he was about to meet someone who would only add to the chaos in his life. In 2007, he met a woman named Vanessa Cameron. Sam thought Vanessa might be the person he could build a future with. She was charming, and at first, their relationship seemed full of promise. They spent time together, shared meals, and talked about their dreams. Sam believed that with Vanessa by his side, he could create the family life he had always wanted. They began a relationship, and by 2008, Sam became a father. The couple welcomed their son. Becoming a father was one of the happiest moments of Sam's life. He loved his baby boy deeply and wanted to give him everything he needed. Holding his son made Sam feel stronger, more determined, and more responsible. He dreamed of raising his child in a home filled with love, laughter, and stability. Sam wanted a family and a stable life, but troubles started to pile up.
I can't remember correctly what the call was for. It was for a found person, I believe it was.
Even though Sam had good intentions, problems began to grow. Bills needed to be paid, disagreements arose, and the stress of daily life weighed heavily on him. He tried to stay positive, but the challenges kept coming, and it became harder to keep everything together. In April 2009, the home Sam and Vanessa shared burned down completely. The fire was devastating. In one night, everything they owned was destroyed. Clothes, furniture, photographs, and precious memories were all gone. Sam stood in shock, realizing that the place he had worked so hard to build was now nothing but ashes. Sam lost everything he owned. He had no belongings left, no safe place to call home. The loss was overwhelming, and it left him feeling helpless. Starting over from nothing was a painful reality that weighed heavily on his heart. But just when it seemed like there was no hope, a ray of sunshine would appear. Vanessa, whose name was on the house, received $300,000 from the insurance. It was a huge amount, enough to rebuild and start fresh.
The tickets on the 11th.
Okay, so you bought tickets on the 11th to go see your friend?
Yes.
Okay, and who's that?
Adrian.
Okay.
My friend Adrian.
Mm-hmm. And where does she live?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Tell me how did you find out about this then? Because you left on the 12th, and so how did you get word of all this happening?
Sam believed that since they had shared the house, he should also benefit from the payout. He thought the money could help them rebuild their lives together and provide stability for their son. But he would be hit with the biggest heartbreak he could have imagined. When Sam asked for some of the money, Vanessa refused to share. Sam felt hurt and betrayed. He had lost everything in the fire, yet Vanessa has decided to keep the money for herself. He believed they were supposed to be a team, but her refusal showed him that she did not see things the same way. This deepened the cracks in their relationship and made him question whether she truly cared about building a future together. Hurt and frustrated, Sam made a decision. He made up his mind to end the relationship with Vanessa. Sam realized he could not continue with someone who did not support him or share fairly. For Sam, the refusal to share the money was more than just about finances. It symbolized betrayal and a lack of unity. He had lost everything, yet the person he trusted most chose to keep the resources that could have helped them rebuild. That decision broke his spirit and forced him to walk away. Ending the relationship was painful, but he felt it was the only way forward. He wanted honesty, trust, and partnership, and when those things were missing, he knew he had to walk away. After leaving Vanessa, Sam started a relationship with a woman named Erica Bridgeford and soon moved in with her. Sam was determined to start fresh. His relationship with Vanessa had ended painfully, and he wanted a new beginning. And no doubt, with Erica, life seemed brighter. She offered him comfort, stability, and hope. Sam felt like he had finally found someone who truly cared for him. For the first time in a long while, Sam felt peace. Erica supported him, and together they began to build a home filled with love. Sam enjoyed the simple moments, sharing meals, laughing together, and planning for the future. He believed he had finally escaped the troubles of his past. Little did he know he was wrong. Soon, Sam's family would expand. Erica became pregnant, and Sam was excited to be a father again. The news filled Sam with joy. He already loved being a father to his son with Vanessa, and now he had the chance to welcome another child. He dreamed of raising his children in a safe, happy environment. Sam wanted to be the kind of father who provided love, guidance, and stability. Here's the thing though, for a while it looked like Sam could rebuild his life. He worked hard, stayed close to Erica, and focused on his future. He believed that the worst was behind him. He imagined a life where he could watch his children grow, support Erica, and leave behind the pain of his past. But just as things were starting to fall into place, something unexpected would bring everything to a sudden, tragic halt. In 2010, tragedy would strike. Sam's efforts to rebuild his life were cut short by a cruel plan that he never saw coming. Sam would vanish without a trace. On the day he disappeared, Sam had gone to get some money from the insurance policy that Vanessa had finally decided to give him, but she had left it with her sister, Susan Sutton. Sam thought this was a simple errand. Vanessa was out of town in Mississippi, and she had supposedly left money with Susan. Sam believed collecting it would help him manage his responsibilities. He had no idea that danger was waiting for him. Since Vanessa was out of town, this detail made Sam feel safe. He assumed there would be no conflict since Vanessa wasn't around. He trusted that Susan would simply hand over the money. Sam drove to Susan's house to collect the money. His intention was to finish the task quickly. He expected to return home to Erica and continue with his day. But what he didn't know about was the deadly plot in place waiting to take his life. Behind closed doors, a conspiracy had been set in motion. Susan, her fiancé Bernard Brown, and Bernard's cousin Lakeisha Brown were not there to help Sam. They were there to take his life. Sam was walking into a trap without realizing it. According to what was later revealed, when Sam arrived at the house, Lakeisha hit him on the head with a wooden board, knocking him out. The attack was sudden and brutal. Sam had no chance to defend himself. One moment he was standing in Susan's home, and the next he was struck down, unconscious. But they weren't done. Bernard and Lakeisha then put Sam into his own car. They dragged his body outside and placed him in the vehicle he had driven. The same car that had carried him to Susan's house now became the tool of their captors. However, this was only the beginning of their evil plans. They drove Sam's car to another location where they carried out a terrible act. They shot Sam 6 times, killing him. The violence was deliberate and merciless. 6 gunshots ended Sam's life, cutting short his dreams, his hopes, and his future. Afterwards, they placed his body back in the trunk of the car and dumped it in a cemetery, hiding the vehicle afterward. They tried to cover their crime by leaving Sam's body in a cemetery, hoping it would remain hidden. Sam Johnson, a man trying to start fresh after losing his home and moving on with Erica, was murdered in a carefully planned attack. His efforts to rebuild were destroyed by betrayal and greed. Sam had wanted nothing more than to be a good father and partner, but his past caught up with him in the worst way. He never had a chance to see the future he had hoped for with his new family. The dreams of raising his children, supporting Erica, and living peacefully were stolen from him. His life was taken in a cruel, deliberate way. But the truth would not be hidden for so long. After Sam Johnson's body was found in the cemetery by San Antonio police, the police knew they had to act quickly. They had a very serious job: to find out who Sam was and who would have wanted him dead, and most of all, to bring his killers to justice. The investigation was detailed and careful. The police looked for every clue. They checked phone calls, messages, and receipts to figure out where Sam had been and who he had met. They examined the house, Sam's car, and any other places connected to the crime. The detectives also worked with forensic experts to study the crime scene and the evidence. The first thing the police did was speak with everyone who knew Sam. They talked to his family, his friends, and the people who had been with him the day he disappeared. One of the first people they spoke with was Erica Bridge, Sam's fiancée. She told the police everything she knew about his day, but she would give a chilling information. Erica shared that Sam was the one who had gone to drop Vanessa off at the airport for her trip to Mississippi to visit a friend before he had gone to collect the money from Susan Sutton, Vanessa's sister, who she had been living with since the fire. Erica remembered this detail clearly. Sam had wanted to help, so he drove Vanessa to the airport himself. It seemed like a simple favor, nothing unusual. After dropping her off, Sam planned to stop by Susan's house to pick up the money that Vanessa said she had left there. Since Vanessa had been living with Susan after the fire destroyed her home, it made sense that Susan would be holding the money. To Sam, it was just another errand, something he could finish quickly before returning home. Erica also shared that she had spoken to Sam when he was at the airport, but tragically, that call became their final conversation. She never imagined that those words would be the last she would ever hear from the father of her unborn child. Next, the police interviewed Vanessa. Detectives knew Vanessa was central to the story. She had been connected to Sam for years, and her name kept coming up in the investigation. They brought her in for questioning along with her sister Susan Sutton to understand what had happened to Sam. The 2 women sat in separate rooms, each facing detectives who wanted answers. Investigators hoped their stories would shed light on Sam's death. Vanessa was questioned first. She explained that she had sent the money with her sister, but she was in Mississippi and did not know that something terrible would happen to Sam. She went on to explain that while she was in Mississippi, she had tried to contact Sam but wasn't able to. According to her, she even asked Susan to message him, but Susan said she hadn't heard from him either, so she assumed he had been found.
The tickets on the 11th.
Okay, so you bought tickets on the 11th
Yeah.
to go see your friend?
Yes.
Okay, and who's that?
Adrian.
Okay, you
My
bought
friend
tickets.
Adrian. Mhm.
And where
she's
does she
in
live?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Tell me how did you find out about this then? Because you left on the 12th, and so how did you get word of all this happening?
But then, Vanessa would throw an unsettling accusation. As the questioning continued, Vanessa shifted the focus away from herself. She made a claim that startled detectives. Vanessa tells the detective that she believes Erica had something to do with Sam's death. Her words were sharp and unexpected. She accused Erica, the woman Sam had been living with, of being involved in his disappearance and death, suggesting that Erica might have played a role in harming Sam, planting doubt in the minds of investigators. Detectives listened carefully, but knew something Vanessa did not. Erica had already been questioned earlier, and she had given them a solid alibi. Her account was consistent, supported by evidence, and left little room for doubt. Vanessa's accusation seemed more like an attempt to deflect suspicion than a genuine lead.
We are separated, so he doesn't have to call me. Erica called me yesterday asking me to do a release on his body. And that's when she said, you know, we're engaged to be married and I have his baby on the way. She told me that she had the last letter he's ever wrote, stating that I don't know what the letter stated, but basically she was telling me that he had told her that they were done, that they were going to be together. And I told her, I said, well, Sam never showed that to me.
The talk soon turned to the money that Vanessa said she gave Sam through her sister Susan after Sam dropped her off at the airport.
Do you know what time he went over there?
Sue said it's 7 o'clock.
Okay, Sue said 7 p.m. he went over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he got the money and you never heard anything about it?
I never heard anything. I can't even remember if I sent him a text message or anything. We talked at about 11 on Wednesday. Okay. And I told him, we did a lot of drinking this week with my girlfriend.
Next, detectives sat down with Susan. For the first half hour, they asked her about Vanessa and Sam's relationship, trying to understand how the two had been connected. After that, the questions shifted to the day Vanessa told Susan to hand Sam some money.
They're knocking. I'm like, okay, Sam, and I hung up the phone. So I went downstairs, gave him the money.
It was cash?
It was cash. I gave him the $340, and then he just said, I was like, are you on your way to, when I said, what are you getting ready to do now? And he was like, nothing. He was like, I'm getting ready to go home. He was like, I'm going to go ahead. I got to get up real early in the morning. He's like, I got to go take care of the apartment and stuff like that. And I said, oh, okay. And then I told him to count the money. So he's counting the money.
Susan admitted that Sam did come by the house to collect the $350 Vanessa had left for him. She said he counted the money right there, but claimed she never saw him leave afterward.
Yeah, so he came
out of the ordinary.
Yeah, he came, he got the money, and then he said, all right. I went upstairs. I actually did not see him leave.
At that point, the detective asked Susan a very direct question.
I'm nervous because I'm telling you
to be.
that I don't have, I go through different cycles in my life, with my head.
Did you murder Sam?
No.
Well, then you have nothing to be nervous about, do you?
No.
Watching her closely, the detective noticed that Susan looked nervous. To test her, the detective decided to bluff. She told Susan that Vanessa had already said Bernard Brown, Susan's fiance, and Bernard's cousin, Lakeisha Brown, had called Vanessa while she was in Mississippi, saying they had accidentally killed Sam.
And again, I would ask you, you and your sister are, describe it for me, extremely close.
Yeah.
Often extremely close. Because I want you to understand that I went and checked because Vanessa's talking with Detective Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
And Vanessa's telling Detective Bauer that she received a phone call from BJ while she was at Adrian's house, where BJ told her that he had accidentally killed Sam.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
After Susan's interview ended, the detectives tried the same bluff with Vanessa to see how she would react.
I have 2 questions to ask you. Did you kill Sam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know who killed Sam?
No, I do not.
Okay. I do know who killed Sam.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to know who that is? BJ killed Sam.
Detectives knew the last people to see Sam alive were the 3 people Vanessa was living with: her sister Susan, Susan's fiance Bernard, and Bernard's cousin Lakeisha. The detectives still didn't fully understand why they would want Sam dead, but believed all 4 of them were involved in some way.
If you're worried about your sister, the only crime that your sister is even thinking about being charged with right now is helping get rid of Sam's body. I'm not looking to charge her for murder, but BJ may want to give her up and say it was her idea, or even say she did it and he was the one that helped dispose of the body.
It didn't take long before Vanessa began to reveal more.
I got a text message saying Sam came to get the money. And then I missed it. I missed all of it. I missed the text message. I missed the telephone call. I missed everything. This would not even be like this. It would not be like this. But I missed the calls because I was just with my friends and family up in Mississippi. And if I could have just answered the phone. My sister told me, she said that they,
When did she tell you?
The same day.
She explained that Susan, Bernard, and Lakeisha hadn't planned to kill Sam outright. Instead, she said they only wanted to scare him by beating him up so he would leave her alone. Vanessa added that Susan told her Sam had simply fallen during the incident.
No, but when I came home, I said, what did he fall on? She said he just fell. I guess he got hit in the head with a 2x4 or something like that.
Okay.
And then she said that he was dead. And I tried to hold it together, and I was just like, what did y'all do?
Vanessa explained that after Susan gave Sam the money, she went upstairs. That left Sam alone in the house with Bernard and Lakeisha. But what happened next was brutal. Lakeisha picked up a heavy wooden board, a 2x4, and struck Sam on the head, knocking him unconscious. With Sam unable to fight back, Bernard and Lakeisha dragged him outside and forced him into the trunk of his own car. Here's what's insane about this. All 3 of them already had a deadly plan. They drove Sam's car to another location where they carried out a terrible act. They shot Sam 6 times, killing him. The violence was deliberate and merciless. 6 gunshots ended Sam's life, cutting short his dreams, his hopes, and his future. Afterwards, they placed his body back in the trunk of the car and dumped it in the cemetery, hiding the vehicle afterward. They tried to cover their crime by leaving Sam's body in a cemetery, hoping it would remain hidden. Sam Johnson, a man trying to start fresh after losing his home and moving on with Erica, was murdered in a carefully planned attack. His efforts to rebuild were destroyed by betrayal and greed. Sam had wanted nothing more than to be a good father and partner, but his past caught up with him in the worst way. He never had a chance to see the future he had hoped for with his new family. The dreams of raising his children, supporting Erica, and living peacefully were stolen from him. His life was taken in a cruel, deliberate way. Now that detectives had pieced together what happened, they brought Susan back in for another interview.
You didn't want to talk with me anymore. You went out front, you had a chance to talk with your mama. You guys sent an officer to come get me because there is more that you want to talk about. Okay, so you do want to talk to me about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you told my mom that
The difference between a capital murder and the abuse of a corpse, there's a big difference between those two things.
At this point, Susan seemed to realize that Vanessa might have already told the police the truth. She understood that if she kept denying everything, she could face the harshest punishment. So she decided to change her story. She gave a chilling confession, one that revealed even more about Vanessa's role. Do you remember the fire that had destroyed Sam and Vanessa's home? Susan explained that it wasn't an accident at all. According to her, Vanessa had started the fire herself so she could collect the insurance money. After the fire, Vanessa moved in with Susan and Bernard, and for a while she used the insurance payout to cover expenses, but eventually the money began to run out. That's when Sam had told Vanessa that he had taken out a $750,000 life insurance policy for his child. Vanessa realized that if something happened to Sam, she would be the one in charge of the money. The thought of losing her financial security pushed her to create a deadly plan. She convinced Susan, Bernard, and Lakesha to help her. Together, they plotted Sam's murder, believing it would solve Vanessa's problems and give her access to the insurance payout. And most importantly, they all would get a cash reward.
This is so unfair because I know she's gonna walk away.
Well, let me tell you, Susan, I'm glad you decided to come back in here because that's exactly what she set it up to be. That's why she was out of town. She was gonna stick you and BJ with this shit, and then she was gonna collect the money and be home free.
Susan's confession revealed the depth of the betrayal. Sam had tried to rebuild his life, but Vanessa saw him as a way to secure money. The fire, the insurance, and the murder were all connected in a chain of greed and manipulation. Detectives now understood that this wasn't just a random act of violence, it was a carefully planned scheme carried out by people Sam once trusted. Each person involved gave their own version of what happened, but the stories didn't match. There were confusing details and contradictions everywhere, so detectives had to carefully piece together the truth. One of the male detectives left the room where he had been questioning and went back to sit with Vanessa. However, his goal was simple. He wanted her to admit that she knew about the plan to kill Sam. Even if she didn't pull the trigger, the detectives believed she had been part of the scheme.
We've talked to your sister. Well, Sergeant and Detective Miller have. And her story is not the same as your story. So again, we're going to start out with, are you sure you want to stick with that story, or do you want to tell us what happened?
By this point, investigators realized they needed to bring Bernard Brown in for questioning. Both sisters, Vanessa and Susan, had already pointed to Bernard as the one who fired the shots. If that was true, then Bernard was the key to solving the case. Now came the moment that could crack the case wide open.
And I'm going to tell you that you have been implicated in this particular murder, okay? And I want to talk to you about it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Why is that crazy?
Because for one thing, I ain't got the guts to kill nobody.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Do you know anybody who has the guts to kill somebody?
Not that I know of, sir, honestly. I really don't.
Okay.
When Bernard sat down with detectives, he refused to admit anything. He denied being involved in Sam's murder. Detectives pressed him hard, asking questions from different angles, showing him evidence and trying to break down his story. It took several detectives working together and more than 3 hours of questioning, but Bernard still wouldn't give in. He held firm, refusing to confess. Even though Bernard never admitted to the crime, detectives had enough evidence from the sisters' confessions and other details to move forward. Bernard was arrested and charged with capital murder. But there was still one more person investigators needed to speak with. That was Bernard's cousin, Lakesha. She had been named in the confessions too, and detectives believed she played a role in what happened to Sam. So they called her in for an interview, ready to hear her side of the story.
And what can I say?
Well, tell me the truth of what happened, step by step.
I was playing pool. It was me, BJ, Zaya. We were playing pool. He knocked. I opened the door because I heard the knock. Because it was BJ's turn to shoot. So I was like, okay. I opened the door and I seen him and I walked away. I went back to the pool table because it was my turn. And then Susie gave him some money. She gave him something.
She gave him some money.
And I heard him talk. He said something, but the TV was going with the music.
Okay.
So I was like, oh. And I looked, and all I remember was hearing him yell. And when I looked up, he was on the floor.
That's when you hit him with the 2x4?
I hit him? No, I didn't hit him.
Through the investigation, the police confirmed who had been involved in planning the murder and who had carried out each part. The detectives learned that Vanessa Cameron had been the mastermind behind the plan. She had convinced the others to help her, promising them money from the insurance policy. In the end, the police arrested 3 of the main suspects: Susan Sutton, Bernard Brown, and Lakesha Brown. Investigators also charged Vanessa Cameron, the mastermind behind everything. She was charged with capital murder because she was the one who planned Sam's killing. She was also charged with arson since Susan revealed that Vanessa had set fire to her own home in 2009 to collect insurance money. On top of that, Vanessa was charged with conspiracy to commit murder for working with others to carry out the deadly plan. Susan Sutton, Vanessa's sister, was also charged. She was accused of murder for her role in helping lure Sam into danger and conspiracy to commit murder for agreeing to the plan with Vanessa, Bernard, and Lakesha. Lakesha Brown, Bernard's cousin, faced similar charges. She was accused of murder because she struck Sam with a wooden board and helped move him into the car, and conspiracy to commit murder for being part of the group that plotted against him. Bernard Brown, Susan's fiancé, was believed to be the shooter. He was charged with capital murder since prosecutors argued he fired the shots that killed Sam, and conspiracy to commit murder for being part of the plan from the beginning. The arrests were made after careful collection of evidence and statements, ensuring the police had a strong case. This action brought some measure of justice and began the process of holding everyone responsible for Sam's death. After the trial ended, the story of Sam Johnson touched many hearts. His family was heartbroken. They couldn't believe that someone they knew and trusted had planned to hurt him. They had lost a loved one, and the sadness felt in their home and community was heavy. Friends, neighbors, and coworkers were shocked too. They remembered Sam as a kind and hardworking man who cared for his family and tried to make life better for everyone around him. The community came together to support Sam's family. People sent messages, flowers, and helped in small ways, showing that even in sadness, kindness could still grow. Everyone wanted to honor Sam's memory and make sure his story was not forgotten. What do you think about this case? Do you think the three females attempted to set up Bernard, or was he involved all along? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.